You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 166 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here, at least with regard to sunshine, here at the Beaver Lodge. Yesterday, there was a little bit of smoke in the area, but today, so far, it looks good. So, fingers crossed it'll be a good day, and it might be a tennis day, because I learned not to play on smoke days the hard way. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver A, and with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. Oh, I see here that Kit Taffy G says that there was a great show by Charles Adler yesterday, in case anyone missed it, so I guess I have something to put on my to-do list today. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. You can tell I'm French because when things go wrong, I say voyons, which is sort of like this expression. If you don't speak French, it's just like oh, it's basically the equivalent of "oh, come on" in French. We have a Wednesday morning. Again, not sure if it's going to be a nibble or a bite, given how long we have, because Mr. Grizzly's on vacation. But before we do start, let's say hello to Mr. Grizzly and ask him, how's your mental health today, sir?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I've been up since 3 a.m., so I'm a little out of it right now, kind of. I tried to go back to sleep several times to no avail, so I started surfing on my computer, and then I came across a few things that made me think, just when I think we're doing good,
Okay.
I question that.
Before you start, I just want to apologize to the kids for being late. I had a really, really busy day yesterday. As you can see, I'm making a lot of mistakes. I didn't get to bed till close to 2, and it's not exactly scrunkly because I'm in a good mood, but I'm just really slow, and my mouth has not warmed up yet.
So the mouth has not caught up to the brain, or vice versa?
No. I'm actually probably still actually 3/4 asleep. One
Okay.
quarter asleep still. Yeah,
That's
see,
why
I
we got
can't even math now.
perhaps a Red Bull. Uh,
Gives you
Gives you
wings.
wings.
My God, I can't even do fractions at the moment. I am really.
I couldn't do fractions at the best of times, my friend.
All right. It's like,
That's why I like the metric system. There's no fractions.
you know what? Because our scale. Because you're right. I'm losing weight, right?
Mm.
And hold on a second. Sorry, I got to push the cough button.
That's okay. Yeah, I got to do that from time to time. You're
There
only
we go.
human.
Um, so I am 3 pounds, 3 pounds away from being in the good BMI.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so come on, 3 pounds. But because our scale, it's old, so things have sort of started to yellow. The pounds
Mm-hmm.
are in red, and the kilograms are in black. So the kilograms are easier to see,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because red on yellow, right? So I'm true Canadian, right? Like we have
Yeah.
the metric system everywhere, but it's like how tall are
When it
you?
comes to
It's
your
in
weight and your
inches.
height, it's not metric. Yeah.
Well,
It's not.
now, because of this, as I know my height
Mm-hmm.
in inches, but now I'm really clear on my weight in kilograms. And now you go to the body mass index thing, you say enter your weight, and I have to now go to a converter to do one
Yeah.
because I can't enter a combination of pounds or of
Yeah.
kilograms and they switched me to centimeters. I have no idea what 5'6" is in centimeters.
I'm 6 foot exactly. So what's that? 185, 180,
Something like that.
190? I'm not sure. Somewhere like that.
Sounds like that. Yeah, I
And
think 186 or 6 feet, 185, 186.
yeah.
That's like a standard you work from. But uh, anyway, it's so yeah, just yeah, this is where I noticed that yesterday. I'm like entering. I'm going. Wait a minute. I need to. No matter which one I use, I have to convert something.
Yeah, it's complicated. Well, I have a scale I bought from IKEA that does double duty. I bought this scale like 20 years ago, and it is both a wall clock and a scale. And you can
Okay.
get your weight in three different measurements. You can get it in kilos, in pounds, or in stone.
Wow.
Digital. So you just click it to whichever you want. It's like, I weigh this many stone, which means nothing to
Nothing.
me because I'm not British or Australian. So it means nothing to me.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, and we used to buy those like those teen magazines with all the music stuff. Is
Like
that they're like
Cream or
reading it?
Rolling Stone or Circus or Hit
Yeah, but
Parader.
yeah, well, not those ones. The other ones, right? Like when you were a
Uh,
teenager, like the Tiger Beat equivalents or like that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
like
I never
specifically
bought
for
those.
music, anyway. Because like sometimes they'd have back in the day it was on the radio, right? And there was no internet, so you'd have to guess the lyrics of the songs, and
Mm.
so sometimes some of these things had the lyrics of the songs, so you'd like buy them, and they'd have interviews and like this and like posters that you'd take and you'd put up on your wall right when you were a teenager. Because but every time you'd get one that was British, those things, they're talking about the bands, like I said, they're going, the
17
name, the
stone.
age, favorite color, height, weight, and it's like something stone, and it's like it's
What?
just cowbell, dead cowbell, clunk, clunk in
Yeah.
my brain, right? It means
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
It's
Ah,
bizarre.
oh, wow. Okay, Mr. Grizzly, what else?
So I have this. I came across this at about 3 a.m. and went, I can't believe I'm seeing this. And Matt tweeted it out, and I had a couple of friends jump on it and go, "Yep." So we're just going to watch this. It's descriptive in it's. I'm not talking about RCTA. I'm not even going to address that one. We'll talk about it, but I'm not showing any videos on that.
RCTA?
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
This is time blindness, is what they call it, and um, yeah,
So I just got yelled at for asking a very reasonable question. So I'm applying to go somewhere, and I just wanted to know: are there accommodations for people who struggle with time blindness and being on
it's not
time?
a thing.
And then
It's called being
the
tardy.
person I was with interrupted and acted like I was asking something else. And then when we were done, they actually started yelling at me and saying that accommodations for time blindness doesn't exist, and if you struggle with being on time, you'll never be able to get a job. Provided you're trying your absolute best to be there. And then they're like, your stupid generation wants to destroy the workplace. And yeah, I think that a culture where workers are just cut off because they struggle with being on time, when there's other solutions that we can look to, I think that just anybody who thinks it's okay to just treat people like that, yeah, that culture needs to be dismantled. And then I asked that person, how can you feel good about yourself upholding this kind of system? And then to think I'm entitled. No, if people think it's okay to treat others like this, that's entitlement. So,
So here's the thing. I'm sensitive about people's needs and accommodating when and where. I love Gen Z. That's fucking stupid. If you are somebody who cannot look, there are certain jobs where all that is required of the timeline is we need the results by Friday, and it's like okay, just get them the results by Friday. But there are other jobs where you need to arrive for your shift at a certain time because other people are dependent upon you. So we have these things called wristwatches, and then these other things called smartphones that have calendars with reminders. And also we have alarm clocks and home hubs and a million different ways to make sure you get your ass to a location on time. Now, again, I'm sensitive to Gen Z and I'm sensitive to accommodating people's needs, but she's being ridiculous.
Hmm.
I thought this has got to be a joke, right? No, apparently they're serious.
Hmm.
Time blindness. Look, again, many jobs, we need the results by Friday. Okay. So they don't care if you punch a clock 9 to 5. They don't care when you get it done as long as you hand them what they need by the deadline.
Mhm.
They're paying for your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, and your efforts. They don't necessarily need you to do 40 hours a week on it. You might be able to do it in 12 hours
Mhm.
as long as you meet the job requirements and the deadline for certain elements of the workforce, you're fine.
Mhm.
But if I don't know, you're a nurse or a doctor or a police officer or a soldier or a firefighter or a plumber, or you have timelines that need to be met because other people are relying upon you to show up and arrive on time so that the person waiting for you to get the service that they need from you, say if you're a plumber or a contractor or a carpenter or a painter or an electrician, you show up at 8 a.m., you get your job done, you go on to your next one.
Yep.
This person's just being absolutely ridiculous.
Now, I um, setting aside the possibility because a kid mentioned that might be a case of just ADHD.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's Paul. Yeah, sure.
Okay? Maybe the person doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. It's possible.
Um,
There's medication. There's ways around it, right?
but, right. If you're saying like people invent words for things, right? And
Mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
words for things change over generations. So it's time blindness. It, time blindness is not a thing,
No,
but
it's not.
not being able to keep track of time, maybe because you have ADHD that's undiagnosed, is a thing.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Um, I relate a bit in that before the age of about 25,
Mm-hmm,
my attitude about time is the only things for which you really could not be late was someone's wedding, someone's funeral, a job interview, and really, really your first day at work.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everything else, life happens and something can wait 4 or 5 minutes. I used to have a friend who would show up everywhere 15 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
And if you showed up 2 minutes early, to him, you were still 13 minutes late.
No, I don't believe in
Right.
that. I show up on time.
Right.
I'm not paid before that hour, so I don't show up before that.
Mm-hmm. So, but I was one of those people that was chronically late. And then at one point, the light just turned on
Mm-hmm.
like this. And I am the person that absolutely everything has an
Mm-hmm.
alarm.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything. Like it has
There's your
three,
accommodation, though, right?
actually
That's your accommodation.
three.
Mm-hmm.
One depending on the thing, but like if I have to go somewhere, leave 2 hours before, 1 hour
Mhm.
before, and
30
if
minutes.
it
Yeah.
takes me less than half an hour, the third, but like the first one is like, you need to start winding down what you're doing. The first
Mhm.
one is you need to start putting your shoes like this, and in that I factor in extra time because I know my Beaver sweetie and I love him very much. That on
Mhm.
the way out, he is going to stop me somehow for a 15-minute conversation and ask me to do a favor, even though I've told him 1 hour
You
before
factored it in.
that I am going to be leaving and I need to focus on that. I know it's going to happen, so I book that time in. Right? Just like in the winter, like this, I always book an extra 5 minutes because in the summer I can just put on a pair of shoes, walk out the door, but I have to put on boots and find my hat. Whatnot, and oh, where did I leave my keys? And because I know that, so I have
Mhm.
extra time. Because in the winter, right, you're sometimes what's in one pocket one day is not in that pocket the next day
Yeah.
because there are more pockets in the
It's
winter,
just simple planning is what
right?
it is.
But it's taken 50 years.
Mhm.
Well, not 50 years. I mean, it happened
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but like this, I am still learning of new ways that I can be late. And I really, and seriously, I do. Sometimes it takes me 4 times to leave. You know, those days where it takes you 4 times to leave the house, to actually leave
Mhm.
the house?
Mhm.
That happens to me, right? And it's like, okay, it's like I have planned since 4 days ago that I would be walking out the door 15 minutes before I really need to walk out the door because this thing is really, 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 really important. And I'm walking
Mhm.
out the door 1 minute before. I was like, how does this keep happening?
But
But
what I'm
I
getting
know
at is,
myself, so I plan the time now.
well, and that's the thing. It's, look, and I'm late sometimes. Stuff happens. Life gets in the way. I get that, but I shouldn't feel that somebody else should accommodate my tardiness
Yeah,
ever.
and
That's my fault.
right, and the thing is like we're in an age where direct and frank communication
Mhm. Yeah.
or assertive and clear communication is considered an attack.
Which is bullshit.
So yeah,
So the other thing, I got two more things. The quick one, the RCTA. I'm
Mhm.
not going into videos. I'm not showing examples. I'm not diving into it because it just makes my head spin. It means race change to another.
Oh my, do we
So
have to
it's
give
like,
this? Do we have to give this any time
this is
whatsoever?
all the time we're giving. That's what it is. It's literally some dumb white person feels, well, I feel East Asian, so they become East Asian. We're not talking about that any further because that's just so fucking stupid. It's no, I'm exasperation. Yeah, I'm exasperated at that. Not giving it any more attention than that.
Okay,
That's it. That's all it
yeah,
gets.
there is a difference between saying, "Hey, you know what? This is a culture that resonates with me,"
Yeah.
right? Like the Gen Z kids
Hmm.
who are really into anime,
Yeah.
for example, and then saying,
Cool.
"Hey, I'm Japanese,"
No, 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 no. You're not.
or I feel I should have been like when some people say, I feel I should have been born in the 30s or whatnot, like this because I'm old soul and
Hmm.
whatnot. I feel I should. No,
No.
just girl, no,
Just no.
just no,
Just no. Just no.
just no.
Yeah. Well, that's like saying I'm transracial. No, you're fucking not. It's not a thing. And that's all we're going to talk
I
about.
have never even heard of
Oh
that
yeah,
ever.
yeah. It's people of, I'm like, you know what it is? It's entitled white people who aren't feeling they're getting the attention that they feel they are entitled to. So they're going to create a new way to get the attention thrown upon them. I don't
Oh
know. It's,
man,
so here's the next thing I got for you, and this one is a doozy because it starts off one way. It's like, this is how it started, and this is how it ended.
mm.
This is 1 minute and 35-second video clip I'm going to share with you. It's from our friend Yarrow Geisbrecht. I say our friend. We don't actually know the man, but we use his stuff from time to time, and we like what we oftentimes agree with him.
He's a
Not all the
recommended
time.
follow.
He's a recommended follow. Yes. So I don't know if you saw this, Mr. Beaver.
I have not.
This was on the CBC News, and well, let's just sit back, watch, and enjoy.
Well, good morning.
Oh, this,
It's
yes.
my great privilege to introduce one of the most successful political leaders of our generation. A number of years ago, after leaving politics, I visited the Philippines, and it was shortly after Prime Minister Trudeau attended the APEC summit in Manila. I was getting a ride back to the airport from a car from the hotel, and the driver paused and asked me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Canada." And he said, "Oh, we love Canada. We love your Prime Minister." I smiled. I paused, and I said, "Why?" And he said, "Your Prime Minister was here for the APEC summit, and he was named the APEC hottie." I told this to Stephen Harper, and he was very depressed. Diplomacy, though, is all about promoting our values and our interests. And there are perhaps no two nations in the world that are more aligned than Canada and Australia. The Prime Minister's attendance here today underlies the priority that he and his government hold the Canada-Australia relationship, and all of us at the forum are grateful for that. So on behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you and the government for their support of the relationship. It's genuinely appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau.
Okay,
So
Mr.
that's how
Grizzly,
it started.
I think I have a Kits. If you can you tell us if you were able to hear everything, or was it so
That
low
was
that
as loud as I could get it. That
yeah?
was as
Because I have
loud as
another
I could
version
get it.
that might be louder.
Okay, try that.
So just let me know. Were you able to make it out? Because if not, then we can play it again.
Yeah, we can play it again if we have to. I'm gonna for the audio version. I'll amplify it for the audio version because I can amplify it later.
Okay, I see a thumbs up.
So that's
Okay, I heard it. It was quiet, but I
good.
did hear it. Okay, great. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Okay,
So that's how it
thanks.
started, right? And then it went to this. This is really funny. Oh boy, this is just John Baird. The Liberal Party's publicly funded spin machine is back at it. Political success does not equal competent leadership of Canada. Pierre Poilievre will be the next Prime Minister of Canada, and 8 years of Liberal waste, corruption, and incompetence. Bro.
Whoa. Did he really do?
Yeah.
When I said successful, I meant only in terms of winning elections and not anything else.
It's like,
Really? He's going to do the parse. Oh boy, somebody was called to the woodshed, eh? And had
yep.
the switch.
Oh, yeah. It's like, dude, we heard what you said. We saw your body language. We saw the embrace and the handshake. I'm going to guess Daddy Harper, along with Reform Party Preston Manning, and perhaps Pierre Poilievre, maybe, I don't know, did not care for that. And as a result, they kind of freaked. This is my guess. It's like, wow.
Ooh, c'est juicy. C'est très juicy. Ooh la la. Juteux. Oh, that's like peach juices like running down your forearm. Oh my God. Someone was taken behind the woodshed and had a switch worked on his political backside. Something fierce.
Yeah, and you kind of took it to him on this. Well, Pierre Poilievre and Sarah Fisher. How do y'all explain this? Guess your once campaign co-chair got tired of all the anti-rainbow rhetoric and basically told you to go fuck yourself. Couldn't have happened to douchier people. John Baird calls Justin Trudeau one of the most successful politicians of his generation. It's a thing of glory. Let's see if
Well,
we can
good
hear it any
morning.
better.
It's my great privilege to introduce one.
No, it's because what happens is right after he says, well, good morning, the volume drops off. It's the original audio. It's that the mic dropped. Literally, the volume dropped.
Man, oh man. Damn, yeah, really, eh, Kid Saucy? Worse than high school. worse than high school. It's like, what was that comment in the United States? It's like everybody went to high school, but nobody graduated yet. The high school
Mm.
from which you never graduate. It's like, ooh, yes, I did remember. I remember, you know what? That's how, like, I remember seeing that yesterday, and I did not remember I did that. Yeah. There's stuff going on in there. I don't
There's
think it's a
levels.
happy place.
No. Well, look, there's a ton of rumors floating around right now. Skippy had his makeover. Now he's going everywhere with his wife to try and make him more desirable to women, which it's not going to happen.
Evita,
And then people are getting upset that why are you taking her on? I'm like, she kind of put herself in the spotlight.
as I said, you open the door, counselor.
You opened the door, but one of the other rumors I heard is that his health is failing, and I don't know if there's truth to that. It's a rumor I've heard. It's possible. He does look incredibly tired. I don't know if it's a health related issue or if it's just exhaustion. I mean, anger does age people.
And he has been hitting it hard.
Yeah.
Listen, there is no doubt he's been putting a lot of work into what he's doing. He's putting all the work into all the wrong things, and he's got all the wrong priorities,
Hmm.
and he is doing it on our dime. We are paying him for not doing his job.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have I smell part split again, says Kit Saucy, and yeah, potentially after the next election, if see, the thing with Skippy is that you keep on saying he'll be replaced, but I don't see with whom is the problem, right?
Well, I
Somebody would
don't
have
know
to be
with
like
whom, but
really, really parachuted in because there's nobody from the benches.
which
There's
is what I
nobody.
think will happen
There
because he's
just
tanking
is.
the party.
But
We'll
yeah,
see.
yeah. His, yeah. We'll see. Man. All right. In the news, surprise, surprise, surprise. Plot twist: the port workers in BC were discussing a 4-year deal that had been proposed by a federal mediator because it seems that they weren't so far apart. And they were given, I guess, 24 hours to discuss it and look it over. And it seems that it fell apart. So 5 days after the 13-day port strike had ended, um, pickets went back up at 4:30 BC time yesterday. Um, the International Longshore and Warehouse Union caucus voted down the recommended terms by the mediator, and they voted it down before it was even presented to the membership.
Mm.
Rob Ashton, who is the union president, says that he's still concerned about job protections from contracting out and automation, and that the financial concessions do not align pay with the kind of profits the ports are making. They returned to bargaining last night. Minister O'Regan is now saying, O'Regan Jr. says that Canadians have been patient, but the government is now considering all options to get the ports operating. And of course, we got the bad ideas bears.
Mm.
And I'm thinking that this is something that's going to happen again and again and again. So you got the Premier of Alberta running in and saying, this type of thing is affecting Canada's credibility as a reliable trading partner. It's putting that at stake. Yeah, right. The person that is still denying climate change
Hmm.
and not really want to doing anything and still talking about like oil and gas, like this is the way to go for absolutely ever and ever and ever, and we should not change a single thing to what it is that we're doing now, thus making it so that there's going to be limited markets to which they're going to be able to export their stuff somewhere down the road
Well, yeah.
because a lot of countries won't let it in. But the are and of course you get really good at attracting green and foreign investment when you are the one that's being dead weight on the movement. So, but other people are putting the credibility at stake. Okay, sister. And then, so she comes in with the 1, and then the 2 is that PP slides right in after her, and he blames O'Regan for the strike.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker, saying his inaction is a colossal incompetence. His inaction?
Yeah. I,
His inaction. The whole reason they were having a mediated deal to actually negotiate in the first place is because he, his really,
mm-hmm.
like, of all the things, right? His inaction is the colossal income. What? Because he allowed a process to actually play out.
I guess.
He allowed for an actual
Yes.
negotiation to happen. That was the inaction. That's an action.
Mm.
Allowing a negotiation process to come out rather than just jumping in before the strike even happens, like before second 1 and saying, no, you will not be able to leave work. That is an action. That's how they got to the point where they were so close in the first place. Like, dude, just you can't just say anything. I mean, you can, and you do.
Mm.
And there are people that,
Mm.
well, there are people that swallow it hook, line, and sinker because, it's like, well, if it comes from the progressive media, it's absolutely a lie, and only PP tells me the truth. So, but yeah, um, everything is just so ham-fisted.
Mm-hmm.
It's the conservatives have the problem that the NDP used to have and sometimes still have, which is there's the point,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the overreach. And with the NDP, it's usually the sanctimony, the really over sanctimonious overreach. And then with the conservatives, like, there's a criminal under every rock and behind every shadow and behind every tree and just a liberal criminal everywhere. Ah, it's trying to destroy the country everywhere. And it's just too
Mm-hmm.
much. It's cartoonish.
Well,
It's just
the,
it's just too damn much.
the way he goes on about how he's all for workers and powerful paychecks, but the moment workers stand up for their rights, he wants to legislate them back to work. Collective bargaining, union labor.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. But it's like, why lie? Why exaggerate? Why embellish when the truth will do?
Because he doesn't know how to tell the truth. It's clearly evident. There's so much evidence to support that statement. It's ridiculous. He would rather spread stochastic terrorist nonsense
Just
and prop up long since debunked rumors in the House of Commons, no less, because he can get away with it there. But the second he's asked about it outside of the House of Commons, can't address that. Well, I said what I said.
yeah. I mean, you could turn around like a very, not that I agree with it, because I believe you should let the process play out. Because okay, I can understand letting the process play out, but he let it play out too long. 13 days? I guess no. It should be, like us, I would have been right in there and say, okay, you got to do this. Fine. You got 5 days, and then I'm going to come in or something. That's a case you can
Mm-hmm.
make without sounding like you're just an idiot who will reach for the most ridiculous thing to,
Oh
right?
yeah.
There are reasonable avenues of opposition. There is a alternative case that you can make for another way that you could have approached this that might have made more sense. May not have, but that would have been in the general vicinity of tethered to reality.
Reality sucks.
It's
So
the
you know.
constant, stop constrapiece theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting. When we're talking about how tired he looks as tired as his shtick is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very much so.
It's
That's an exasperated sigh.
old, girl. Oh. Change de disque, tabarnak.
Ben oui, là.
Sorry. Ah, for people who don't understand French, it's just like, just
Change the
put
record.
on a new record. FFS. That FFS was for Mr. Grizzly's mom.
Oh, I've already dropped a few
I
F-bombs
said,
this
I
morning, so I
cleaned it.
think we've got
I cleaned it up a little bit.
our quota in for the day.
Yeah. All right.
You saw Theo? I
Other
sent you
news.
Theo's cartoon. Did you see Theo's cartoon that I sent you?
Yes, that was
I have it here. Do you want me
Mr.
to put it
Mr.
on?
Dacus. Yes,
Yes.
please, because it deserves a standing ovation.
Bank of Canada. Yay! We got $20 million in bonuses. Food Bank of Canada. Sigh.
My man. Hey, Mr. Dacre, I love it when Douglas speaks in French. Oh, that was my Franco-Ontarian French with the street accent, and that was not my newscaster French. Just so you know. Yeah, we code switch in French too. We do. Trust
Well,
me.
there's the Montreal accent. There's the Gaspé accent, which is Qfi, and then there's the Gatineese, which is if you live in Gatineau, là, tabarouette, you know what I talk about, lo. Gatineese.
Yeah, but then there's there's my street French, and then there's the French. Like I pass a nice broom through the street, have a nice clean street. Because au travail, je parle le français comme ceci. Mais avec mes amis, je parle le français comme ça. So yeah, it's like we're like at work, I speak English like this, but with my friends, here's what we're gonna do. There's levels.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yesterday, yes, don't forget Northern Ontario. Definitely its own French. Oh yes. If you're in Sturgeon and Hearst and Spanish and
It is.
and
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh yeah, it's different. Yeah, and up in the Saguenay too. If you're in Quebec, oh, and then the
Very
Gaspé.
different. Yeah.
Because sometimes you might. There's certain people. Sometimes back in the day, the first time I got was exposed to the Saguenay accent, Saguenay Lac-Saint Jacques. That I
What,
I need an interpreter.
yeah, you couldn't understand them at all. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like, and but then your ear gets attuned and whatnot. But at the beginning, it was like
Very confusing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need to pay attention here.
So do you want to make
yes.
because we had a little fun with John Baird a moment ago, right? And how he got spanked for saying what he said. What are they going to say about this? Saint FX Alumni News, a beacon for leadership. Former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney having a chuckle and a laugh and a smile with current Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. St. FX Mulroney Institute hosts the inaugural Atlantic Economic Forum.
I'm sure that made a few more brains explode than had it been the cover of Maclean's, because at St. FX, the law school particularly.
Oh yeah.
For those
this is what I'm getting at, right?
For those
oh yeah. Heads be exploding right now. I will tell you what.
I'm such a weak beaver.
Hey, look, sometimes you gotta do it because when the world is just upside down, crazy backwards, you need to do it to just sort of relieve that pressure, right?
Okay, I was going to go into some actual news, but I'm going to. Okay, I published it,
Oops,
but I
I didn't
wasn't
mean
going
to
to
do
do it
that.
on the
That's a
show.
mistake.
And you've given me an opening, so
Okay.
now I will. Part of me is proud of this, and part of me is
Oh,
not
what
proud
did
of
you do?
this. Yeah, you know me so well.
What did you do?
What did you do? Oh my God, you sound like my mom.
I won't be upset if you tell me the truth.
I come back home and I'd complain about someone at school, and she goes, and what did you do? But he called me a duty head. But
What did
what
you
did you
do?
do? But what did you do? Well, I may have done it. Huh?
Did you invite some hatred our way?
uh, I might
Okay.
have. Okay.
You got it lined up and
Um,
ready to roll. I'll put it on the screen, bro. You just tell me when.
yeah. This guy, you know,
Slappy.
Slap Happy. Um, there are three. There are
Mm-hmm.
three. Hugh Ian,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
RuPaul,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy. And I know there's Andrea and Andrew Lawton. And by the way, Andrew Lawton, who, like the second that Charles Adler's show came on, says, "Ooh, wow, you got like 57 viewers on live." Yeah, 57 viewers, one platform, one like. You're a
You know
podcaster,
better.
right? Like, you know how these things work, right? Like, tell me you're working in an industry you don't understand without telling me. And then it's like how it started. 57, and then it was like number one
In the
podcast.
country.
So like last time I checked, like 9 days in
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah.
This hit 31 on all podcasts
Mm-hmm.
combined. All podcasts
Yeah.
combined.
In the world. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
heard in
yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
It's like, but no, but podcasts from all around the world
Mm-hmm.
heard in Canada, right? It is so hard for a political podcast to even just make the
Mm-hmm.
news chart, and then from the news chart to make the all podcasts
Oh yeah.
combined. Lifestyle, parenting,
There's
psychology,
so
true
many of them.
crime, all combined,
Mm-hmm.
31. It's like premature enunciation.
You
Um,
should have known better.
so, like, just again, chin up, ass
Do you
out.
think maybe he did it knowing full well that it would explode, it would go to number one, and he would get a few clicks and hate comments? You know?
Nanosecond,
Yeah.
nanosecond,
Yeah.
right? So now this is one of the trio. I've never actually, just by the way he treats
Mm-hmm.
tweets like this, and I'm Rainbow, and he likes to use the F1 and lots of references to AIDS.
Yeah.
My gaydar doesn't necessarily go off, but given his obsession, I would
Mm-hmm.
not be
Oh yeah.
surprised. Because he gives me
Yeah.
more of
Mm-hmm.
a creepy vibe.
I agree.
Because he just goes to places that just like
Oh yeah.
really know. So yesterday, apparently, he put out this apology for which he doesn't
True
say
story.
for what he's apologizing, other than having put out some tweets and said stuff where he said some
Mm-hmm.
harsh things.
We're not going to watch
Harsh
the video.
things.
I don't want to see it.
No. I didn't even put the video. I took
Oh,
a
okay.
clip of just the site and put it in. Didn't even
Okay.
retweet his thing. But harsh things. No acknowledgement of what those harsh things were, no acknowledgements of the harm that they may have caused, which created the reason for which he should be making this apology. He said he wouldn't do it again, but nothing about what steps he has taken or intends to take to make sure it doesn't happen again. Just I said some
Mm-hmm.
harsh things, and I want to apologize, and I promise not to do it again. So no. But if you'd put it back up, Mr. Grizzly, and I know, I know, I know. We're not supposed to look
You
shame.
did, didn't you?
Come on, man.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
know we're not
come
supposed to
on,
look shame, but
man.
come on, man. He chose this on purpose. This is proof he has no gay friends, and the one who does his hair most definitely and hasn't told him. He looks like death defrosted, warmed up, freeze dried, and warmed over again. you, you were very catty on that one.
I am not proud of myself,
You know what?
but I am only a beaver.
Sometimes you just got to let it loose. Sometimes you got to let it loose, and sometimes you get banned for a week for
And
doing so. Hey, it's what happens.
I might have a little undercurrent of incident with the
Mhm.
neighbor, because this one also likes to use that
Mhm.
F word,
Mhm.
and again, making those references to AIDS. So, yes, yes, yes. I'm again, petty is my favorite
Mm.
color, but yeah, Douglas. I mean, lol. Oh my god, I'm still tired.
I need another coffee.
I, I really don't know where these things come from. Actually, these like
Mm.
they just come.
No, I
These sentences that come together. But yeah, and also on that update
Mhm.
for the kids, the police service gave us a phone call
Mhm. Paid him a
the other
visit.
day where we chatted with the constable that's been assigned to the case, and either yesterday or today.
He'll get a knock at the door that he won't like.
Yes,
Mm.
that will happen. So I know that the three most likely potential outcomes could be that
Mm.
one, things do get to go somewhat like back to somewhat like before, but with a little crack
Mhm.
in the mirror, because we did make a point of asking the constable when they talked to them to make the point that we really would prefer that outcome to be that we can forgive and forget and go back on the street to actually addressing each other like humans. Uh, and being friendly again, because we both got to share the street, and we're willing to accept that this could be a blip. Uh, we're willing to accept that. We're willing to give the off ramp that this is not who you are, and this is a blip, and we can go back to being friendly neighbors.
It escalates.
Or benign
Mm.
neglect, right? We just don't talk to each other, and whatever you say to the neighbors about us, you say.
Yeah.
We don't care. We just become utterly indifferent to your existence, because the opposite of love is not hate. It is utter, and complete and total indifference. Or he does the "you called the cops" thing, and it escalates, which is a possibility. Now, the constable tells us that most often, and the constable we talked to was really,
Mhm.
really good in terms of said, in her experience, um, most of these people are just loud
Yeah.
bullies, and it's only in about percent of the cases where a complaint will generate an escalation and retaliation. So, a little
Of course.
trepidatious,
Anxiety. Yeah.
because I mean, listen, we say it right. Allyship, or when you say democracy is something
Mhm.
that you do, um, sometimes it needs putting your body in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's necessary
It,
sometimes.
it, it, it means sticking your neck out. It means taking risk. It does mean sometimes, you know, when you go protest something, you might get arrested,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes it means so. Like us, we're doing the show. We're drawing attention to
Yeah.
ourselves. It's and like I say, unless I'm on stage, I'm not a big fan of being the center of attention, really. So, which is so like doing this in this way, putting my face and my voice is kind of
Mm.
unnatural in a way to thoughts that are my own to another person, to words and thoughts that are somebody else's as an actor. That's one thing, but right. That's why like I wrote for 10 years rather than doing a podcast or video cast. Yeah, it means, it sometimes means sticking your neck out, and it sometimes means that there can be consequences, but you do it anyway because it's the right thing. So just to let you know that, yeah. So being totally honest, part of that was Slap Happy because I just saw it and it's like it just came to me instantly, and it's like it was not necessary. And clearly, right? The Buddhist principle, is it true? Well, yeah. is it? Is it? I don't remember what the other one is. Something, and is it kind? Well, no, it wasn't kind. So, I, yeah,
It happens. It happens.
that's the not part of me. So, yeah, I totally admit, could have been a little lashing out involved, a little undercurrent of that there. But hey, I'm owning
You're only
it.
human, bound to make a share of mistakes.
I'm owning it. I did it. There it was, and then part of me is a little proud. Let's be honest, part of me is really proud of it. That's kind of good.
Hey, you didn't burn anything down, so let's roll with that, right?
I gotta be me. Sorry, cough button again. All right, now to maybe some actual news. Wow. Well, the CPI numbers that we were waiting for yesterday did come out a little bit after the show, and they came up better than expected. Economists and analysts were expecting about 3%, and they came in at 2.8, which is the lowest in more than 2 years. But we have a tale of two economies.
Oh yeah,
really going on here, because the CPI is 2.8%, right? And then there's a person that, again, may have been a little sensitive yesterday, so I put them on mute. But they were like really upset. It's like CPI isn't 2.8. Blah, blah, blah. No, honey, it is 2.8, right? And then there are like metrics where you strip out energy and you strip out food and you strip, and then you add them in. So the core items are still hanging somewhere around 4, right? And then, so that's the one thing, right? All the other stuff, like your cell phone stuff like this, it's down 12.7%. There are things that are down, right? Energy's down 21.6%, gasoline specifically. But if you have a mortgage, it's up 30.1%. If you're on a variable, or if you've been renewing. And food is still at 9.1. And everybody needs to eat, and everybody needs a place to live. So even though the CPI is at 2.8, even though some of the core metrics are at about 4, food's at 9.1 and shelter's at 30.
yeah.
Nobody's getting a 22% raise.
Well, so
to cover
Skippy
both of those, right?
Skippy went on yesterday about saying how a single person living alone needs to earn $40 an hour to afford a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm like, yeah. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to reinstate rent controls that Doug Ford has tried to wipe out? Are you going to increase wages across the board? Are you going to nationalize most companies? What exactly can you do about it, Skippy, other than rage farm off of it? I like, really, are you going to reduce the amount of taxes that I pay so that I can afford to keep a roof over my head? What are you going to fucking do about it?
Mm-hmm. And one of the more obvious ways to actually have an impact quickly was going to be to cut immigration.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we do that, it's almost like stopping the Earth from rotating, and gravity pulls us all off in terms of the
Yeah,
economy.
because we desperately rely upon both immigrants, migrant workers. Like our economy is, yeah,
Agriculture,
agriculture grinds to
personal
a halt
support,
without
support
migrant workers.
workers,
Period.
personal support workers in a population that's aging
hmm
rapidly.
hmm Well, I mean,
The thing that we've heard about for the last 30 years that somehow we still didn't plan for.
well, and privatizing all of the long-term health care, long-term home care. What I don't LT, long-term care homes. Thank you, LTCH, long-term care
LTC.
homes. Privatizing so many of them and allowing the privatization thereof, which I remember when they started building them back in the mid '90s. They were opening up left, right, and center, and I'm like, well, this isn't good because these are private for-profit institutions that will strip people of all money that they have left until they get buried. And I don't care for that, but it's happening. I mean, if you can find a long-term care home where your monthly expenses are less than 5,000 a month to live there, considering that you're a senior who what are your expenses? You're not traveling, you're not going out to dine. You spend most of your time in the home. Many people who spend a large part of their time in bed. So what are you spending? So why is it so expensive? Because shareholders got to get paid. Staff doesn't, but shareholders do. It's pathetic.
Mhm.
I got to get a coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. So going to what Mr. Grizzly was saying, there was some data that was released yesterday that in Canada, there was 800 communities that were studied, and only in 21 of them, in 21 out of 800 communities, can a person afford a 2-bedroom apartment on a minimum wage salary. 21 out of 800 communities. And to that effect, not sure if we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but there was a meeting in Toronto with the 3 levels of government to deal with issues of housing and shelters because they're overflowing, particularly in Toronto. Um, there are lots of, because of our refugee and asylum seeker intake, it seems that we, again, don't have enough housing for the people that we have brought in. And it is such that about 1/3, I would believe, of Toronto's 9,000 shelter spaces are occupied by refugees and asylum seekers. And up to about 40% of newcomers who call the system get turned away because it's overflowing. About 30 signatories issued an open letter demanding the resignation of Gord Tanner, who's the general manager of the city's shelter support and housing administration, because he got to the point where he was so overwhelmed. He was saying, refugees and asylum seekers are a federal government responsibility, and started referring newcomers seeking shelter to the federal government. Now, there are people who have run churches who have been bringing people in to try and help. And hopefully I will find that I have some notes in 2 different places, so I'll get back to that. But that kind of prompted Mayor Olivia Chow to say that we really need to do something about this. And at this meeting, I want some solutions that I can start implementing today.
Yeah.
So she's really, she's got it right. She's going, this is all hands on deck.
Well,
Right. She's reached out to all big city mayors. They say they're facing similar situations. The city of Toronto said that they had as many as 2,800 asylum seekers in the shelter system as of May 2023. Now, a lady named Saman Tabazinajad, who's the acting executive director of Progress Toronto, which is a not-for-profit organization that advocates and organizes for a more democratic society, socially just and progressive city, says about $157 million were needed for refugee shelter spaces. Quoted, refugees and asylum seekers falls within the federal jurisdiction, and right now we're seeing a lot more refugees coming into the country, which is amazing. We need to be supporting asylum seekers and refugees, but we need to make sure that once they get here, they're supported as well. The ask was $157 million. $97 million was granted to Toronto. $212 million were granted throughout the nation. Let's hope it is well spent, because it is definitely needed.
Well, it's a crisis, and we have to look at the bigger picture and how this came about. And I mean, there's a much bigger picture here, and it came about for a number of reasons. The government of Canada, the federal government of Canada, stopped building houses 30 years ago. They were advised to hand that down to the provinces, and the provinces would take care of it. The provinces did nothing. And then under Stephen Harper, he changed the rules for foreign investment in real estate in Canada, which is why you see all these towers popping up over Toronto and Vancouver that at one point in time were unthinkable. And many of them go empty because it's a way to wash your foreign funds. It's money laundering at a gigantic scale. And this is not me pulling it out of thin air. It's been proven time and time again. Finstrack has proven that much of that has driven up the price of real estate because people are just washing money. Well, as a result, the average Canadian has no hope in hell of buying a home right now, unless you inherit money or inherit a house that you can, go renovate, turn into your own, or sell and purchase something else somewhere else. Who knows? But either way, it's not any easier now than it has. It's more difficult now than it's been any other time. Sure, interest rates are low compared to the early 1980s, but the price of housing is vastly multitude of percentage more than the average income. Back then the house might have cost double or triple your income. Well, now it's closer to 10 or 15 times your income. Mm-hmm. So come up with a 20% down payment. If you're somebody who's, ran your own business and then had to declare bankruptcy and wasn't smart enough to incorporate your business and just did sole proprietorship, which is what I did. Don't do sole proprietorship, folks. Incorporate, because I had to pay the personal price for that. And I will wear that for many more years. That's why I can't get overdraft. They won't give it to me. And it doesn't matter how hard I've worked to rebuild my credit. It's there. It's forever. So the word to the wise, if you're going to start a business, incorporate. But like I said, the picture is bigger here. There's big money at play. There's foreign investment at play. There's selling off of our own resources, like the Canadian Wheat Board, for example. Conservatives don't care about money for you and I. They care about money for their wealthy friends and how to get them wealthier. And that is it. Because Doug Ford is doing nothing about this. It's his responsibility. He's sitting on $22 billion. He's doing nothing. John Tory,
he could fulfill that one. He could fulfill that $157 million ask,
and it would be nothing
like that.
Nothing.
But it's for the poors.
Yeah, can't help the poors. Well, the best thing you can do is give somebody a job. Okay.
He might get some pour on him if he goes there to make the announcement.
I can't completely disagree with giving somebody a job will help them, but they need a job that actually gives them enough hours and an hourly wage to live on. And $16 an hour for 30 hours a week, because they don't want to give you full time, because then they have to give you benefits. It ain't cutting it. So people are working 2 and 3 jobs, sometimes 4, and maybe have a side hustle driving for one of the rideshare programs. I'm not going to name them because they don't pay us, but you know who they are. UNL is what they start with.
Yeah. Or door dashing
or
whatever.
Something, just trying to earn a little extra money. Meanwhile, you're working 75 to 80 hours a week and you're barely making ends meet.
And Barry spending time with friends and family because, of course, those shifts are like here and there and there and there and there. And probably not sleeping well and definitely not eating
Gig
well.
economy, right? Gig economy. You made $500 today. Yeah, that's great, but I didn't make anything all week. Oh, and out of that 500, I have to pay for fuel, insurance, maintenance,
How much does it costs money to work?
period. It's just
It costs money to
we're
work.
going back into the feudal age. I say that all the time, and people think I'm being ridiculous, but not if you really look at what's happening. I'm not being ridiculous. It's what's happening. There are companies in Toronto that own something like 35% of the rental stock in the city. One company. One.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
not good.
actor strike that's going on. It seems that one of the things that's going on, I didn't know this because I don't work at that level, but apparently there's something having to do with demo reels or something like that makes it so that you actually have to pay to submit them. Like there are people that are paying to audition now.
Oh, yeah. You realize you have to make an appointment to view a rental, right? You want it, that's standard. But now they're doing things in Toronto, and this has been going on for a couple of years, and it's starting to happen here in Ottawa now, because there's more and more rentals coming on the market. What they're doing is they set an appointment, and they'll have like maybe a dozen people show up, and you take a look at it, and if you're interested, you put a bid on it. You're bidding to rent an apartment. Bidding on a rental.
That's illegal for buying a house.
But they're doing
How
it's
can it be
happening.
legal
It's not legal.
renting an
It's
apartment?
not, but it happens all the time. All the bloody time. This isn't new. It's been written about for years in the paper. Read it in Maclean's. They don't care.
There's the part of me that's the optimist. I'm an optimist. I'm starting to think that maybe the word is more hopeful than optimist, but I'm optimist. But I'm an impatient optimist, a rather impatient optimist. And then I have faith in humanity. I really do. And then it's like I hear stuff like this. Always one. There's always got to be that one person or that one tiny little group that just say, hey, this is an opportunity to F someone over. Let's do it.
I got mine. Fuck you, basically.
Yeah. I got mine, so fuck all y'all. That's exactly.
So this, where you brought me into this clip I'm about to show. This is Trey Crowder. Okay. You'll like this because he talks about all the things we just discussed and a couple things more that I don't know if everybody's aware of. This is really good. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and it's worth your time. As soon as it loads.
Well, it's the summer of the strike, baby, and things are heating up out here for labor. That's right. Everybody knows that SAG and the Writers Guild, my two unions, have Hollywood on its knees, but they're not alone. Around the country, you got nurses, fast food workers, hotel workers, auto workers, UPS employees, all taking to the streets and demanding with one voice, you pay me. And it's long overdue. For too long, these bosses, these corporate overlords have been using record profits to buy another volcano layer or golden-plated sex boat, all the while telling the people that do the work that affords them those luxuries that they should just shut up and be grateful to have a job at all. They're not even trying to hide their contempt anymore. Last week, the Hollywood bosses publicly said their goal was to starve us out, to make it where people start losing their homes, and then we'll see. Then we'll know our place. Yeah, good job kicking that hornet's nest before shoving it straight up your ass. We'll see how that works out for you. Okay? They say things like that and then say that workers are being unreasonable. They're like, these workers, they just overvalue their own worth to the company, right? Well, I saw a headline yesterday that said if UPS workers go on strike, it'll cost the U.S. economy $7 billion. Wow, seems like those workers must be pretty important. Only there's a way we could put a value on what they're worth, right? Not for nothing. If all those workers kept doing their jobs, but the CEO of UPS effed off for a month, pretty sure the trucks would still run on time, okay? But these CEOs, they believe that they deserve these untold millions, right? They think that they're irreplaceable. Really? You don't think we could find somebody else to smoke cigars and make people cry? Right? They're trying to replace all of us, and they think they're irreplaceable. For what? What do y'all do? You don't make anything, you don't deliver anything, you don't write anything. What do you do? And they would say, oh, we do plenty of stuff. You know, we compare metrics, analyze trends, assess risk. Oh, yeah? That sounds like a whole bunch of computer stuff to me. Maybe the computer should just do your job. How about that? I think they can handle it. I think a robot can handle greenlighting a goddamn Goonies reboot. You know, I'm not sure that the technology exists for them to sexually harass all the interns yet, but I think we could figure it out. You know, also, if you could have a robot greenlight a Goonies reboot, but if you have a robot write it and cast it with a bunch of deep fakes, it's going to be a piece of shit, and everybody knows it. Labor is irreplaceable. Okay, and risk, they love to talk about risk. Well, we assume all the risk. Workers risk their lives, their health, their future, their families, their backs. What do y'all risk? Company money and a golden parachute? Kiss my ass, man. Somebody in this equation does need to learn their place, and it ain't labor. All right, but they say at the end of the day, it don't matter. They just can't afford it. Like the company just cannot afford to meet these demands. How dumb do you think we are? You think we haven't seen what y'all been doing? We think we haven't noticed y'all getting fat off yearly $250 million in the crumbs off the table for the rest of us? You've been pissing on our heads and calling it trickle down for decades, and you didn't see this coming? How far did you think you could push people? All right, well, it's here. The moment is here. The time is now. And y'all better come to the table and make, because if you don't, the next time you check your watch, it's liable to be pitchfork 30. How about that?
I think he summed that up quite nicely. I had to put that up because it's so good, so succinct, so perfect. And when, you know, Trey's always on point, but he delivers it in a way that is easily digestible by, I'd think, anybody.
Yep.
You know, speaking the language of the people, to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's an exasperated sigh.
I don't. Yeah. I
know it's hard to stay
You know,
optimistic
my
all
rule
the
of-
time when it's, you know.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound ironic because I just showed the Slapinski thing, and I was like, you know, the rule of life is don't be a douche. That was a douchey thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But like, let's literally let them starve. We'll just wait them out. Well, the casual, right? Just the casual dismissal of one's basic worth and dignity, right? All this talk of the dignity of work, right? The Republicans, right? We got to give people back the dignity of work. And then you do that.
Well, I had somebody say to me a few years ago, somebody who earns a significant amount of money. This is about 8 years ago. We were having a conversation. And this person, who I love, care for, and respect, said, well, I paid too much in taxes. And I'm like, what do you mean? I paid $120,000 in taxes this year. I'm like, at the time, I said, that's more than double what I earned last year. I think you're doing okay. I eat craft dinner because I have to. If you paid $120,000 in taxes, you're fine. Yeah. I don't want to hear you ever complain about it ever again. Ever again. And don't look down upon me because you know I'm the hardest worker you've ever met. You've seen what I do for a living. You know the hours I put in. You know how I've sacrificed my body for this shit. And what have I got to show for it? Nothing. Because there is no value to a worker as far as these big corporate bigwigs are concerned. We are merely human capital. We are cogs in the machine. They'll use us and abuse us and throw us away. And then they won't even give us the health care that we deserve because they're going to privatize that because they can profit off us on that one too. You know that it would take an average grocery worker 340 years to earn what Loblaw CEO Galen Weston did in 2022. There's something wrong there.
Yeah. Nobody needs
Nobody.
that much money.
What is it? Something like a million seconds is something like, I don't know, 6 hours. I don't know. It's whatever. 12 days is a million seconds, I think. You know what a billion seconds is? To compare how much a billion to a million is? A billion seconds is 32 years. 12 hours to 32 years. To put into perspective what $1 billion represents. If you have $1 billion, you should not be, well, you shouldn't exist to begin with. I mean, come on. It's just absurd. Well, a billionaire shouldn't exist. That's what I'm getting at. They shouldn't exist.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, inflation is down, but food, rent, everything else is up, way up.
All the basics, the essentials, Maslow's pyramid of needs.
Well, you know how I told you.
The stuff at the bottom of the pyramid is the stuff that's at inflation at 9%.
You know how I told you my auto insurance went up from $150 to $175 a month, right? Well, yesterday they tried to withdraw $400 out of my account that I did not have budgeted for, so I get an NSF. So I looked at that and went, I cannot deal with this today. I had enough to cover my what I owed, and a little extra money left over, but not much. But I looked at that and went, okay, I can't deal with this today. I have to call my insurance company today to say, why are you trying to pull $400 from my account when I only owe you $175? This is a headache I don't fucking need. Look, people say, well, it's pretty tough out there. Yeah, I know. I'm out there.
Yeah. Oh, man. To close off, a little delay in it, but the story about the money for the refugee shelters. Yes. It's just a little bit. It's a pastor named Judith James, who, with other community members, had bussed about 200 newcomers to her church, offered them shelter, showers, and hot meals, along with the support of the Jamaican Canadian Association. And she said, we want to bring those people off of the streets and they can be housed here at our church. We're doing it for as long as we can because we're not going to put them back on the street. But our hope is that our government and province will step up to do what is right by these people and restore human dignity. So, but I wanted to mention her, and there's another pastor. I didn't note the name or the church, but when I first heard of the story, that he had heard that there were 4, I believe, Kenyans who were sleeping on the street, and he decided to bring them into his church, and now he's got 25. So, yes, bring them in, but make sure they have somewhere to go. Don't just bring them in and let them be on the street.
That ain't working. That's not how you do it.
That's not how you do it.
Way.
That's not the way. That's not. You gotta treat people decently.
So
man.
I tweeted this last night. I don't know if you saw this. I'll put this on the screen quickly here. So in this current economy, I'm gonna have to start an OnlyFans. Thing is, it won't be porn. It'll be me yelling at politicians, homophobes, racists, basically telling bad people off. Custom rants will be at request. Price list to soon follow.
You know what? That'd probably work.
I'm only half joking about that.
I'm telling you, that would probably work.
Tell us put in the chat, kids. Tell us what you think.
That might be a $100,000 idea.
Well, I'll custom do a rant if you want, and I will go full Blue Jacket guy.
Although you might want to lower that down because you might induce a coronary.
Oh no, it's a workout for me, bro. It's a workout for me.
Let's see. There was some big news stateside. Some accountability news stateside. Oh, there you go. Yes, Sadeka, you could do a hot tub Speedo series. Do it in your Speedo for more clicks.
Why not?
Uh,
I'm seriously
I
considering it.
don't
I'm
know
not joking when I say
what
that. I'm seriously considering it. If there's a market for it.
Cameo might be better. Angry Speedo Man. ASM and
Yes, there
ASMR.
we go. Yeah.
It's like the two you get, like, like, okay, hi, it's Paul. Come and listen to me rant. And then come and calm down with my soothing
After you've
ASMR.
gotten your anger out, I will soothe you into submission.
Let me jack you up and then give you aftercare.
It won't be Florida Man. It'll be Ottawa Man.
It could work. This could actually work, dude.
Well, let's see.
You can brand the hell out of this.
You're the PR.
The communications marketing guy, so you can
You're a
brand the hell
PR
out of
person.
this. I'll start up as
I'll call. Yeah, that's Bridget. Yeah, because I got burnt on the weekend. I got a suntan. I got a little bit of sunburn because it's Tomato Boy and Lobster Man. I said, yeah, that's the new star coming soon to the MCU. Tomato Boy and Lobster Man.
It's awesome. Mr. Grizzly will be a millionaire
Well,
next year.
Bridget, Mr. Beaver, you're the PR folks. Tell me if this can work.
I truly believe that could work.
I'll just hang up the blue jacket in the background. I'll pull this
Well,
off
look at-
because
no,
we want to keep the brands separate, right?
But look, we love TikTok
Mhm,
Lisa,
mhm.
right?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got her act, her thing, her delivery, the way she does it, the way that she films it, the way that, like just those nails and that hair that are just always perfect, right? But she's got her thing,
Mhm.
right? Seriously, nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing that,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
right? I seriously, I honestly, that's just crazy enough that it might work.
I'll look into it today. I'm not kidding. I will look into it because a lot of people. I jokingly put that out as like a one-off joke, but sometimes one-off jokes that I do connect with people, and like the whole jazz show I started. That was supposed to be a one-off thing, and a lot of people liked. Actually, the original music show I did was supposed to be a one-off thing, one time. But I got so much positive feedback, I kept going with it. Now I am behind on a lot of it right now, but I got some time today. I'm going to work on it. But quite literally, every now and then I come up with a silly idea and I think of it as this won't connect with anybody, and I say it out loud, and people go, "I like that." I'm like, "Really? I thought I was being silly." I guess the way I process information is differently, apparently.
Well, but hey, when somebody said you should do a podcast, I had the same thought. It's like, nobody wants to hear that.
We sell ourselves short all the time because we don't see in ourselves that which others see, right?
Yeah.
Because when I look in the mirror, I just see my flaws, and somebody else sees it a different way. And when I look inward, I see my flaws, my shortcomings, and things where I need to improve. And I'm always trying to do that. So when I come up with a silly idea like this, thinking, "Oh, that'll never work," and then people go, "No, I'd pay for that." I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Hey, the startup costs are not that high, and you never know until you give it a go.
That's true.
Take
That's
a risk.
True. Yeah.
The risk reward thing prospect is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. More so yeah, south of us. Seems someone got a letter.
Oh yeah, he did.
So yeah, the Orange Menace, the Tangerine Tornado, President Voldemort, the
Take your pick.
Clockwork Snorange,
Shiitake short stack.
Shiitake Short Stack, yeah,
Whitler.
President Pumpkinhead, got a letter from the DOJ, a target letter. Now, a target letter is a letter that invites one to come and meet up with the grand jury because we think you've done something wrong, and, well, since you profess your innocence and that we've got it all wrong, well, this is your opportunity to come and tell the grand jury how they got it all wrong so that there will not be an indictment that follows. It was just an honest mistake, just explain it all. And, oh, well, sorry, we got it all wrong. You really were the victim of a witch hunt. And so sorry, we won't charge you. Now, of course, because you have a right to not self-incriminate, you're not obligated if you receive a target letter to go testify before the grand jury about how they got it all wrong, and just give your evidence there. And because you are under oath. So people usually pass that invitation unless they truly are innocent, and that's usually followed by an indictment. Now, the orange one has been given 4 days to appear. This Jack Smith guy ain't messing around. So Trump did the thing that Trump always does. He had a bunch of his friends over. Don't know if he charged them for tickets, and then stood in front of a podium and then whined about his ex for an hour and a half or more. Well, let me tell you another thing about the justice system. She's a real... the justice system is hey, I hear you saying that you love liberty, but there are pictures of you humping that flag.
Mm-hmm.
We've got it on picture. It was published on the front page of the New York Times. You were humping that flag. So don't come and tell me, the Statue of Liberty, that you love me. I saw you rubbing yourself up all over on that flag. We got you on camera. We got you on candid camera. Okay?
Love is a liberty.
So, yeah. So, he's the victim, and it's the weaponization of the justice system, and never in history has something like this happened before. But then, of course, he forgets to mention, well, never in history has a one-man crime spree been president of the United States before. So kind of natural that something that never happened before happens after something that never happened before. So, yep, do the math. Yep, carry the one.
I'm going to need my calculator just a minute here.
Yeah. But indictments are coming. And while that's happening, in Georgia, before they had a special grand jury, I think that sifted through some evidence before they had the grand jury, because that's required it. So the actual grand jury that will be able to bring indictments in the Georgia, just find me 11,780 more votes, one more than we need case, and we'll all be kosher case.
No, that's not kosher. That's not kosher. That's illegal. That's immoral. That's unethical. And that's anti-democracy.
They're weaponizing the justice system against me. What are you saying? It's legal in my mind. I legalized it with my mind before I pardoned myself before I left. So when I took those documents,
not how it works,
mine, that I mixed with my underwear and left on the bathroom floor.
Then cremated my dead wife, ex-wife, and put her in a coffin that required 9 men to carry it because it was so heavy, and then buried it on my golf course so I could get a tax write-off.
Yeah.
How many secrets are buried in that coffin with the urn of her ashes because she was cremated?
How much you want to bet the urn of her ashes went there so you can make space for more documents?
Wouldn't doubt it for a split second.
Would not put it past them.
Nope. Well, he buried her on his golf course because he gets something break. Like not a tax break.
Because now it's a cemetery or something.
That's right. It qualifies as a cemetery now, so he doesn't have to pay taxes anymore on it. People go, that's brilliant, and I go, that's greasy as fuck is what that is.
Nothing says he'll use you to the last possible moment. Dudes, if you're waiting for him to be the first to get off this ride, and that ain't happening. All right, people, just so you know. But yes, the actual grand jury that will have the ability to indict, which I assume sometime before mid-August, has been sworn in, and they're actually hearing evidence now.
Wow.
So this is third set of indictment charge, and that would be fourth set of indictment charges. And I'm sure somebody is probably still investigating all that inauguration committee stuff
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't heard about that in a good long while. So yeah, that's kind of going on, which is really, 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 really fun. And of course, for a guy who says I've done nothing wrong, he sure has done a lot of nothing wrong.
Mm. I've done
It's like
nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing.
it's like it's a witch hunt. Oh, look, witches. I don't. Uh, no offense to actual witches who are really, really good, decent people. Uh, he really needs to. He really needs to come up with another. It's just like, but you are a witch. It's. It's just. I don't. This guy, man. This guy. But he's got his shtick. He's committed to the bit, and he's riding that horse all the way. And until somebody really, really stops him, that's what he's going with, like this. So, the justice system, it's just more martyrdom, more
Oh,
martyrdom,
yes.
right? Now, on the other side of the ledger, Mr. Chris Christie has announced that he has secured the
Mm-hmm.
45,000 donors he needs to qualify for that first debate on August 23rd. And Bo of the Fifth Column presented a very interesting theory in that, given that this is a whole cult of personality thing with the Republicans, I mean, it's really not about policy, right?
Mm.
I mean, come on. Um, that thing that the GOPs are saying, yeah, yeah, he's an adulterous, furthest thing from Christian,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
horrible person slob, but he's our adulterous, horrible Christian person slob, right? Um, well, he has a term called the vindictive voter. And for the vindictive voters, um, Trump is the tough guy, the bully, the one who will tell it like it is, the one who will, put the Trump insult and give the name and just be ruthless and merciless. But Christie's doing that to Trump. So it's a battle of the bullies. And if on a debate stage, Christie actually outbullies Trump, what does that do to the image? And Christie does happen to be a prosecutor. Was that
Mm-hmm.
not the case? So a prosecutor would be a person that knows how to formulate an argument, make an accusation, build a case, be strategic, draw blood. And so, if you have this debate where Trump decides to show up and Christie goes all New Jersey on his ass with an I don't give a fuck chaser and swings at
Mm-hmm.
Trump like Trump swings at people, and Trump always says he hits twice as hard and twice as fast and twice as often if you come and hit him. So if Christie does that, if Christie basically out Trumps Trump on a debate stage, what happens then? Does he look weak? I mean, Christie can debate circles around Trump because I'll listen, right? This is a case of, hey, let's make a deal. You stop lying about me and I'll stop telling the truth about you.
Mm. Well, he keeps going on that it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. Witch is an acronym.
Oh,
And it's on the screen right now.
yes.
Woman in total control of herself. That's what a witch is. So is Trump trans now?
Oh, he did open the door, according to Ron DeSantis,
Well,
with his Miss Universe pageants, right? He practically ushered in this whole gender identity thing, according to Ron Death's sentence. And the thing with Christie is that, well, I mean, everybody talks about hang Mike Pence, but there was cough on Christie, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
While Trump was infected with COVID, the one that had him breathing heavily before they like put them in the helicopter and he ran to the medical place and said, give me everything you got, even though he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't believe in science.
No,
Um,
no, 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 no.
um,
It's just going to go away. It's
and
just going
then
to go away.
Christie, who is struggles with his weight,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is a
Makes no secret of
severe
it.
comorbidity with COVID,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
helping with debate prep, droplets,
Mm-hmm.
wanted to win so bad that he nearly killed a man.
Didn't
Foreshadowing
care.
for Pence, turns out. So when I say that Christie, Greg, is going to go all New Jersey with I don't give a fuck chaser, he literally has
Mm-hmm.
no reason. Say, you try to kill me, motherfucker. I am
Well, you
taking
do
you
remember where
down.
The Sopranos took place, right?
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, we like the thing that a lot of things that loved about Christie and didn't love about Christie was his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got two candidates who have a mouth
Yeah,
and one
what's
who
it for
actually knows how to
interesting?
use the English language.
Well, and Christie said as much as I don't care about winning. It's not about that. I just want to take this guy down.
Yeah, he might end up
He
winning in
said
the
that,
process.
but he said that point blank.
Because,
He says, "I don't care to win. I'm not even trying. I
because,
just want to take him
but
down
think of it,
because he's a danger to
yeah.
democracy."
But if Trump is out, if Christie manages to damage him or make him look
Mm-hmm.
weak or whatnot, and then the whole narrative changes, whatnot, and then something happens legally. Now all of a sudden you've got wannabe Trumps who are not the real
Mm-hmm.
thing versus a Christie who has a lane all to himself, who does have a
Mm-hmm.
mouth, who can swing, and all of a sudden, you know how the media is. Oh my God, he looked turned. Now he's getting all the positive press.
Mm-hmm.
Guy, by not caring if he gets it, he could actually set himself up to get it. Oddly
Yeah,
enough,
it's a strange strategy, but he's come out and said point blank, "I don't want to win. I don't even care. I just want to take him down." That that might be a sort of a maybe that's dishonest, and he really does want to win, but he's going from it from a stealth like
but
approach. I don't
but
know.
you know some of those things. It's one of those things that I keep on recommending to the NDP, right? When they start
Hmm.
up election, I'm running because I want to be Prime Minister of Canada with a majority government. Like, dude,
Stop
right there,
that.
boom.
Stop.
Jan click goodbye.
Stop.
You're not going to be serious. Boom.
Yeah.
But if they said, you know what, the Conservative Party has been irresponsible, and it's time to put them in the sin bin. They do not deserve to be the government. They do not deserve to be the opposition. Trust us to be the
Nope.
opposition. We'll really hold Trudeau to account. And then during the campaign, there's a slip up. You
Hmm.
ask for second, and something might happen that lands you in first. But if you start
Yeah.
with way too big an ask,
It's
yes.
never going to
Now,
happen.
but and there's also many times in life, right? Like we all do that. We had like either a moment in competition, or you went for an audition, or you went for a job interview, or something like this. And you think like, look, I don't really have a chance. So, but you go and you do your best, and then it turns out, you say, well, what I got it,
Yeah. Yeah.
really?
Uh,
Yay me,
okay.
right? But that happens, right? Or it's like
Hmm.
you go in, you play the game, and it's like, well, I won.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, how cool, right? Because
Didn't expect that.
but you went in, you didn't think you have a chance, you gave it your all, and it worked out for you, right? I mean, he sometimes by not thinking you have a chance, you don't try too hard. the try too hard, right? Like you got to try hard, but the too hard where you overdo it, then you screw yourself up, right? So it's really like a lot. It depends if this guy can take himself out or be taken out somehow from. But if it does, if something happens that somehow disqualifies him or that just ruins his image or makes the public turn on him, we talked about Pence the other day, how he's carving a path for himself. DeSantis doesn't. He's anti-charisma. No. It's not going to happen.
He's just angry all the time.
The against DeSantis, there would be an anybody but DeSantis coalition within the party that would emerge. That didn't happen for Trump because nobody likes him. DeSantis, nobody within the party likes him.
Well, he's also out of his mind. He yesterday talked about in an interview post-birth abortions.
Yeah, no.
That's not a thing, and that would be called murder. Post-birth abortion, it's not a thing. Well, they have an abortion right up to the moment of birth, and sometimes post. No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If they have a late-stage abortion, it's because the life of the child and the mother are both at serious risk.
Absolutely.
It's not a matter of convenience. It's a matter of life or death, literally.
Now, I've got a clip for you that I think the kids are really going to love. I hope they may or may not have seen it, but because I'm the communications guy, I love good advertising. Now, Joe Biden came up with a wonderful commercial for his campaign. Wonderful.
Good.
And you'll never and no AI is involved. And you'll never guess.
This is all real.
And you'll never guess who is his spokesperson. Mr. Grissom, if you would, please.
Can you blow up just the video itself? Can you just load that? There we go.
There we go.
Okay, ready?
Kids, get ready to enjoy this.
Now, just enjoy this because it is enjoyable.
Joe Biden had the largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete. Programs to address education, medical care, urban problems, rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, labor unions. And he still is working on it.
That's apparently not CGI.
Yes. Apparently in some circles that was a bad thing. I guess she thought that was a bad thing. I mean, by the way, really she said like Medicare. It's like that was like the most horrible one of all. But in this context with that music,
so let me see if I get this wonderful. Correct.
It's like, and Medicare, right?
A rising tide lifts all boats. We're going to lift all boats, and you don't want that. She's not smart, is she? When you try to attack your opponent by telling the world all the wonderful things he's done and is doing to make lives better for every single American, including you, that's not how you attack somebody. That's just...
No, but it says something that you think these things are so terrible.
Yeah.
That it would never occur to you that some people could like go, you know what? That's actually sounds pretty damn good. Actually, where do I sign up? Can I get me a slice of that?
Well, and I think it's hilarious that she's talked about FDR and LBJ. And when we did our interview with Jake a while back, he's like, who are you two? You're in person. Who did you think were the best presidents? And you said FDR and I said LBJ. And then it was kind of like we both complimented one another on that one because they both did a tremendous amount of good. Now, FDR was a pretty horrible human being, but no, it was Truman. Truman was the bad one. FDR wasn't bad. Truman was bad. But
he was a bit of a dick.
Yeah. But what FDR and what LBJ did was make the country better. They did. And she just mentioned that. And she's trying to complete what LBJ did. I'm like, yeah, so tell me again how that's bad.
Mm-hmm. And then so yeah, that's just, and
You're
then
gonna have health care funded by the state. That's terrible.
terrible. So I just like good advertising, and somehow I have a feeling that one day the way that PP runs his mouth, there might be a similar
Oh yeah.
thing at some point.
I don't think he's as stupid as her.
No, but there are like people listen to each other, so I'm sure every single progressive strategist in the nation has seen this commercial, and they're
Oh, yeah.
just waiting for an opportunity from somebody from that side to talk about good things the government has done to their people, saying, "Oh my God, this is terrible," and then lift that clip and do the exact same thing.
Well, we just had John Baird.
There we go, and the Brian Mulroney thing, and like this. Those things are going to show up. Those things are like if I was hired there, all these little things I'd be clipping and clipping and clipping this, and I would be putting. I'd be like, starting commercials, and it's like, and I'd be like conservatives against Polyev, right?
Yeah.
Because even the conservative, like that, I'd be running with that. That would be the negative side of my campaign. Even conservatives don't want them. Yes, and I'd be starting it early. Now I did another thing. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I was going to say, speaking of conservatives, are you aware that conservative Senator Michael McDonald violated the code of conduct with his colorful rant during the occupation in February?
Not surprised, but tell me more.
Nova Scotia senator was caught on video in February 2022 castigating downtown Ottawa residents who complained about the weeks-long demonstrations against COVID-19 pandemic-related restrictions and the Liberal government. In the video, McDonald described the residents as overpaid and underworked. And in quotations, "It's everybody's effing city. This is the capital of the country. It's not your goddamn city. Just because you have a 6-figure salary and you work 20 hours a week, you haven't worked a full week in 2 years. It's sickening," McDonald says in the recording. Sorry, I had to do that because the watchdog has ruled that he's breached 6 sections of the code that governs senators, leaving a significant impact on the institution. Senators are expected to represent Canadians, not denigrate, mock, and demean them while encouraging illegal activities at a time when the state of emergency had been declared.
Mm-hmm.
Legault has ruled that McDonald's comments broke the rules that senators uphold the highest standards of dignity inherent to the position of senator and refrain from acting in a way that could reflect adversely on the position of senator or the institution of the Senate.
Okay, has that committee seen Denise Batter's and Leo Housakis' Twitter accounts?
I should hope so, because the investigation began when 9 of McDonald's peers submitted complaints. The senator acknowledged that he'd fallen short, welcoming Legault's guidance on how to rectify the situation. The watchdog asked McDonald to undertake 3 actions, 2 of which he followed: an apology in the chamber that would also be posted on social media. The third proposed action was to have McDonald note to his colleagues that his conduct could merit a censure, which is a formal expression of the Senate's disapproval of something. Denise Batters and Housakis, I mean, come on. They do this daily. Daily. They sully the halls that is the Senate. They do it daily. And they have not been taken to task for it. It's mind-blowing to me. Leo Housakis and Denise Batters, who just daily. If you, I don't follow them on Twitter because I can't stand them. But you know how you've got the For You and the following? Every now and then I open it up and it automatically goes to For You, and I get angry within 30 seconds. And then I realize, oh, I'm on For You. Let's go to following. Oh, that's better.
That's better.
That's better.
Yeah.
I'm not enraged at every single thing I'm reading.
Yeah. Kit PNC Bio says, just guessing here, but can I assume he's a conservative senator?
Yes, he is from Nova
He was
Scotia.
appointed to the Senate on January 2nd, 2009 on the advice of then Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Yes, sir, you did get it right. And by the way, Kit PC and Bio, I was reading the comments on our episode with our interview with Scott, and you had like really amazing comments. So I just wanted to give you a shout out there. Really enjoyed reading what you had to say there
I haven't
on
had a
that show.
chance to check it out yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, yes. And the other thing I forgot to mention about U.S. side is that Trump went to the Georgia Supreme Court and, made this case that, Fani Willis needs to be thrown off the case as the district attorney, and a whole bunch of evidence that was presented to the special grand jury should be locked away and sequestered and never shown to anybody ever again, and that the start date for the trial, could that be delayed indefinitely? Yeah, he actually asked that. Like relief that would only happen in like the absolute most extreme case of a miscarriage of justice. Yeah. On the Georgia Supreme Court, 8 of the 9 justices are appointed by Republicans, and unanimously the court told him to go pound sand. Not exactly sure what it is he got from that, because the trial date was originally set for August 14th by Judge Aileen Cannon. And then Jack Smith said, there's so much evidence that we have here that still has to pass through security clearance. And we have to make sure that Trump's lawyers actually get the security clearance to see qualify for the security clearance, to actually see the evidence, to be able to represent him. So that's going to take a while. Could we move that to December 11th? So Trump already got his first delay. So none of this would grant him an actual delay, which is the usual reason for which he does this, is to delay things. The decision was going to come before even the prosecution was demanding that the trial start. And once again, he's a loser. So the only thing I can say, I can chalk it to, is the same thing I was saying before. It's just one more thing on the pile of martyrdom. They can say, oh, look at this. We went to do that. We asked them to throw out the case, but Trump-hating judge with his Trump-hating wife and Trump-hating children, blah, blah, blah. Oh, poor me, and give me more nails so I can nail myself to a cross, and blah, blah, blah. Quit your whining. But yeah, that also happened. The Georgia Supreme Court just told him, just basically no. So, probably not having a very good week. And then here's a little thing that actually, it's sort of an aside, but again, right, the Republican candidates are tying themselves up in knots. So Ron DeSantis was at a town hall, and of course, rather than being asked about his stuff, was being asked how he feels about Trump getting the target letter. So of course he has to spend his time talking about him, and then he's like, he actually literally said this, I'm surprised lightning did not strike him on the spot. Okay, quote, you don't have one side just constantly trying to put the other side in jail, and that unfortunately is what we're seeing now. Okay, are you fucking kidding me right here? The Benghazi email locker up wieners, the side criminalizing abortion, gender affirming care, who pump the preschool to prison pipeline for the Black community, who criminalize homelessness, drug addiction, and asylum seekers. You don't just constantly try to put the other side of jail. Oh, give me a fucking break. Really? Straight face. I swear to all that is holy. Straight face. You can't have one side constantly trying to put from the Republican Party, one, and two from him specifically, the lock her up people.
Enemy's dead.
Oh man, dead given CPR then stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Holy man. We literally are in an age of say absolutely anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. Wow. Again, it's like lightning on the spot. It just should have happened there. That was, I could just, you know why the lightning didn't happen, right? Because God was probably having a head desk at that moment and missed. It's like, ah, damn, another forest fire in frickin' BC. Crap. Sorry about that. That one was my bad. See, wow. Does your brain hurt yet?
Every damn day. Every damn day.
Oh, crap, man. Okay. Oh, man. I think we have a show, Mr. Grizzly.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to work on my Angry Speedo Man Rant OnlyFans, my new ASMR channel, Angry Speedo Man Rant, on OnlyFans. I'm serious. We got to look into this, man.
You have to do it now. You have to. You're committed to the bit.
I have committed to the bit,
Yeah.
and I do believe in following through. I believe in staying in character. So, I'll have to go there. I'll have to go there. I don't know how to start an OnlyFans, but I'm going to figure it out.
If this works,
Mm-hmm.
I'm joining you. Fuzzy rants. Ranting with my shirt off. That's about as far as I'll go. And maybe not everyone wants to see that, to be totally honest.
Wow. Here's a good one for you.
I'm still losing weight. Mr. Grizzly has the six pack. I got sort of like, yeah, really. Oh, that is good.
That's good, eh? Flaming Bear.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That is really.
I have to purchase it though because it's not.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
It's $5.52 on an Etsy store. Just sent to me a moment ago. I think that's kind of cool.
Oh man.
That would be the logo. And then when they see me in the Speedo, it'll be, what the hell?
Oh man, that would be something. Oh, not happy news. Not happy news.
Oh.
We've had our first fatalities in the whole wildfire season.
Yes, yes, I did hear that.
Amazing, almost
That is.
miraculous that nothing happened until now in one way. But a 19-year-old female firefighter in the area of Revelstoke passed away because a tree fell on her
Mm-hmm.
as they were fighting the fire. There's a second firefighter near Fort Laird in Northwest Territories, near the border of Yukon Territory in BC, who died not too long after. It was the second firefighter in 3 days. And then in 100 Mile House, a 9-year-old boy succumbed to an asthma attack that was suspected to be induced by the smoke because over time, the smoke will constrict the airways. Yeah, 3 deaths.
Sad, but when you consider that there's 900 fires and I think 80% of them are listed as out of control, when it's only been 3 people, it's tragic and it
Yep.
never should happen. But numbers wise, that's
Yeah.
Better than
But
expected.
2 people dead in the service of the nation, and then one who had no say. What do you do at 9 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. The heat is really doing a number. The city of Phoenix in the United States has had 19 straight days with temperatures greater than 43 degrees Celsius. I've been in Phoenix on a really, really hot day.
It's a dry heat, though. It's a dry heat.
Yeah. All the dry heat means that as soon as you inhale, your lungs turn to dust.
Yeah, I experienced a combination of dry heat and humidity when I was in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. 52 degrees was no humidity, just 52 degrees was the temperature. In the sun, I thought I was dying. And then when we got into the rainforest by the falls, it was a little bit cooler, but all of a sudden the mist, which is permanent, which is why there's a rainforest, the humidity hits you. But the water was cool and the shade helped, but it was still, oh my God.
Yeah. I remember I was in Phoenix once and I just wanted to go to the corner store to get a snack. And we're at this hotel and I ask where it is. And then I'm like walking out the door and they go, "Where are you going?" I says, "I'm walking."
No.
And they all started laughing.
No, you don't do that. It's
Literally laughing.
you silly Canadian.
Seriously. Like, what? We walk to the corner store all the time. It's like, nobody walks.
No.
I did. I came back. I was like, what's the big deal? It was like, it was hot. It was hot. I won't lie.
Heat stroke?
But yeah, no heat stroke. But it was hot. But the day that I was there, that was really awful. People were building a stage outside for an event to happen that evening, and it's like, like this, and like, wearing all the protective gear and all that, right? And it's like, are you people nuts?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 114 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
It's like 44. Are you nuts?
That's bad.
Like, get in the shade and drink some water. And what are you doing? Don't stay out more than 15 minutes and then come back and do. And I was like, no, I just got to finish this part. Get back in there. It was like, wow. So, yeah. In Death Valley, temperatures hit 130 Fahrenheit or 54 degrees Celsius for only the third time in the last 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, oh, well, that's not so bad. 7 of the 10 hottest summers recorded in Death Valley were recorded in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. We're getting hotter. It's not good.
Europe is having...
Spain is on fire.
Its hottest heat wave. Yeah. Wildfires in Spain, in Greece, and in Switzerland. The EU issued an emergency response red alert. That means even healthy people could have problems. Rome was 41.8 yesterday, were record. There were other places in Italy that hit 47. And the emergency alert is for most of Italy, northeastern Spain, and the Balkans.
Where did I hear they hit 58 degrees? And it's like human beings can't survive that. I read something about that.
Yeah, I know there was a 54 in China at some point. And the thing is that in some of these places, it's not cooling off at night.
Mm-hmm.
So if your body never gets a chance to actually cool down.
Yeah.
Exactly, PNC. You can literally die when your body can't regulate temperature. 43 is dangerous even with mild humidity. I agree. In BC, 74 military members have been dispatched to Burns Lake in central BC to help fight some fires over there. I believe that's all the stuff on that. I have
a pivot from BC to Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Not wildfire related, though. This is real estate related, and we're going to go back to ridiculousness as I show you this. Just give me a second to blow it up a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. The ridiculous that is this listing in Nova Scotia. The property in the heart of Peggy's Cove is listed for, drum roll please, I got it somewhere here, I'll find it later, $1.8 million, and it has been conditionally sold.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, this is not a high luxury property.
no.
It's probably the location.
It says literally
Here.
steps from the iconic lighthouse and restaurant. The double lot totals more than 17,000 square feet, including 131 feet of shoreline. The view is unmatched, but the buildings, a house and a garage, are far less impressive. What many would call the definition of a fixer-upper. The listing says they're both sold as is, where is, and both require a lot of care. The building year is listed as unknown. Engel and Volkers. It's conditionally sold. 3-bedroom, 1-bath house is described as including many original features: 6/6 windows, trims, doors, hardware, plank, wainscoting, built-in corner hutch. I wouldn't call it a fixer-upper. I'd call it a tear down and rebuild. Honestly, 1.8 million. Currently in Nova Scotia, there are 260 residential listings in the province for $1 million or more. Now, there's 1 million people in the province of Nova Scotia. It surpassed the million mark this year. And there's over 500,000 in Halifax alone. And it's rapidly growing. But where the cost of living tends to be a little bit lower for housing, rental properties, and throughout the province, 1.8 million. I mean, sure, it's a big piece of land, but that's a tear down and rebuild.
Yeah.
That's not a fixer upper. That's a tear down and rebuild.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's no. Yeah.
I'd love to know who bought it. I'll bet you it's somebody from Ontario or foreign money, one or the other.
Yeah. Just to finish off on the heat stuff, I thought I'd finished, but I had other stuff.
Oh, okay.
The European Space Agency says that next week in Europe is probably going to be even worse. Concerned for my family because they're leaving for Europe like tomorrow. First stop, Portugal, which is doing better because it's closer to the sea. But and the other problem is agriculture, because we're talking about food inflation. With the level of heat, particularly in the southern United States, and the level of drought, Senator Richard Blumenthal basically said the sun and heat are going to cook these fields. They're literally going to cook these crops before they're ready. Like I said, like I said, in China, they're hitting 50 Celsius. So, and a lot of parts of China are rather agrarian as well. And we have Russia that pulled out of the black port export deal, where 30% of the world's wheat comes out of. It's we might not be finished with food inflation for quite a while.
So it would seem.
And it has nothing to do with interest rates, and it has nothing to do with government policy. So no matter what PP says, no matter who he tries to blame, it's just not it. It's just not it. In fact, I think people are starting to. They might be getting concerned about the climate enough because China and the United States, who haven't been talking to each other much since the spy balloon thing. There's been some diplomatic moves. Secretary of State Blinken went first, and then Janet Yellen went. But now the Special Envoy for the Environment, John Kerry, is there. So maybe the United States and China will be deciding to speed it up, because we're looking at over 1 billion citizens in China and close to 400 million citizens in the United States who all may not be happy with their government, because whether Republican or Democrat or independent, whether communist or capitalist, I'm sure people don't want to fry to death.
No.
That might be unanimous.
Speaking of fry to
and
death.
People might be willing to take down their governments if they feel they're frying to death. And the last thing the Communist Party of China wants is people with a reason to rise up that will not go away and can't be quashed by the government.
Mm.
You can want democracy, and authoritarian government can say, yeah, no, that's not happening. But you can't say, yeah, we want to not die, be cooked alive. And the infallible Communist Party of China doesn't have a solution for that. And when the pressure can't go away at all, people don't care what the consequences of rising up are.
No. Well, here's a headline from CTV when you talk about burning up. This is from CTV News. This headline updated just a few minutes ago. Nuclear threat from Ukraine war prompts Ottawa to update plans for catastrophe.
Oh, yay.
Canada is dusting off and updating emergency protocols to deal with fallout from a possible tactical nuclear exchange in Europe or the spread of radiation across the ocean from a Ukrainian power plant explosion. Internal Public Safety Canada notes show the measures include updating a highly secret plan to ensure the federal government can continue to function in a severe crisis. Ottawa is also taking steps to finalize a protocol for advising the Canadian public of an incoming ballistic missile, says the notes obtained by the Canadian press under the Access to Information Act. Well,
yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, really. And the last little bit I want to leave you with is members of the Indigenous community in Manitoba have started protesting at another landfill, blockading to protest the decision of the progressive conservative government of Manitoba to not search the Prairie Green landfill.
I know.
You got to do it.
Just do it, damn it.
You got to do it.
Irrelevant.
And here's the thing. The thing here that the bit of news that didn't really get out, didn't get a lot of play, is that everybody can turn around and say, oh, well, it's an unreasonable ask. I mean, you can't go through that. No, there was a feasibility study that was done. And there is a very specific area of the landfill that has been identified.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the part they want searched, not the whole damn thing. It doesn't sound like an unreasonable ask.
I don't think so. They certainly were
and there
quick
are
to search for
measures.
Well, they were certainly quick to search for a white man in a landfill in Ontario. So
there are mitigation measures. Yes, there's toxic, but there are mitigation measures, and it's not sending a good message. It's not sending a good message. On the upside, also in Manitoba, a Manitoba judge says that the justice system failed two First Nations men who were wrongfully convicted of killing a restaurant worker about 50 years ago. Brian Anderson and Alan Woodhouse were sentenced to life in prison in 1974. Both were teenagers at the time of their arrests. Anderson was paroled in 1987 and Woodhouse in 1990. But the Crown formally asked for an acquittal, saying that systemic racism affected the investigation and the prosecution, and it was granted. James Lockyer, one of the lawyers representing the men, is stated, quote, as a part of national reconciliation, the government talks about it's time to look at these individual cases to see how many more and who the people are that have been wrongly convicted, just like Brian and AJ. And Manitoba's Minister of Justice apologized for what they called a miscarriage of justice. Something, lack of justice on one hand and a little bit of justice
on another.
Very delayed, but finally given on another.
It'll never make up for what was done, but
it's never too late to make something right.
Yeah, you can still make it right.
Never too late to make something right. All right, Mr. Grizzly. I know we said it before, but let's try again. Do we have a show?
We do indeed. we went a little longer than we planned today.
We just get chatty.
We get chatty.
We just get chatty.
And you should see what happens to me when I get a couple of pints of Guinness into me. I go on for hours. Oh, wait, you have. It's called the Pubcast.
I have. Yes. I guess. And trust me, There's a lot of news. So
We could go on
much.
for 4 more hours, but I got things I got to get to and take care of today.
Oh my
I
God.
don't have, yeah.
It's like, could the world just slow down a little?
No. Of course not. Of course not.
There's just too much damn news. Well, kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver
World
podcast. We
just
hope you love
keeps on
listening to us.
turning, man.
The world just keeps on turning. Yeah, exactly. Uh, we hope you love listening to this. We hope you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Plain Power goes, I love the chat. Thanks, Douglas and Paul. Ah, red heart shape
You're
with
welcome.
feet. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so very kind. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So let your peeps know about us because democracy is something that you do. If you have a friend that comes to you and says that something happened to them, encourage them to report.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are deeply and profoundly appreciated. So thank you for those who are able and willing to give them. We love to hear from you, so please reach us on our Facebook page at the True North Eager Beaver, on Twitter at True Eager, or by email via truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. And if you would like to make sure that you do not miss an episode of our ears only version, then you go to podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. Or if you're watching, that little squiggly down there under my chin is what you scan, and that will bring you to the site where you can subscribe. And we will come directly to you when we have something for you. And why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? That helps us so very much. We are so close to 300.
That's right.
Help us get over
That's
300.
Right. That little button right there, you click on that.
Yep. So make like Elaine and smash those buttons. See, every time I say it, Elaine is like, put it like in the chat, like 2 or 3 chats just before I say it. It's just like right on time. Love it. So smash those buttons. That helps us out immensely. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel that we are doing particularly good shows, if you like the guests that we're bringing, if you like the content, if you like the rage, if you like the analysis, if you just like us, well then you can scan the QR code that I'm sure Mr. Grizzly will put up any second now. And if you're listening, you let your fingers do the walking or use your voice command to go to coffee, so that's spelled ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. And that will bring you to our emergency hydration fund so that we can keep speaking moistly to you.
Jesus Christ.
What?
I didn't see that
What?
one coming. Didn't see that one.
It's because I looked very earnest while I was speaking and I just slid it in.
Well, and it's speaking moistly. Oh, that's terrible. We're going back to the COVID, the early days of COVID, the
Yes.
PM did. Anyway.
Ranting moistly.
Ranting moistly.
I know Jen likes it when I say moist. Turns out in this culture, in our little community, the word is actually acceptable. Who knew? But yes, that's where you can go to make your donation to our hydration fund. And thank you very much. We appreciate every nickel. Thank you. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, there you go, get Jen the moist. I had to pronounce the M's and the S's. They were there. I have to read what I see.
Tis necessary.
Tis necessary. That's the job. I read the script. From the Beaver Lodge, I also write the script though. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there. So be kind to and gentle with yourself. I have to be transparent. These things don't just happen to me. I kind of make them happen. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us before we go?
I do. It was something I was thinking about last night. I was reading some stuff and I was thinking, and I thought, it's life is short, life is fragile. So what I'm going to suggest, and it's a suggestion because it's not a command by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a suggestion. If you are at all in a position to pursue your passion, and if your passion can earn you a living, or maybe not, but if you can pursue your passion, because let's face it, we're all just trying to get by in this world, and sometimes pursuing our passion or our hobbies is very difficult and costly and time consuming. But if you can find a way to pursue your passion in this world, it will make life better. It really will. Um, it will help you cope with the outside stresses that we all have. And the stresses won't go away, but you'll just have a better way of dealing with them because you have that passion that you wish to pursue with all of your might. And it will make your life better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Grizzly, roll the credits, and I will have something a little interesting as an Easter egg when we come back. And by the way, if anybody have been noticing them, there's a fly in the room, and it's taken me all I've had to not do this at any
I
time.
haven't noticed.
Fortunately, it did not land on my head and stay there for a long time, so no Mike Pence moment for me. But yeah, you may have seen it buzzing around. I have a friend. All right, Mr. Grizzly, roll them credits.
What's the old saying? When a mosquito lands on your testicles is when you learn that violence is not the only solution.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
All right. The fun little thing I have for you is that a couple of days ago, Q Ian posted something, and something hit me. And then Brian Lilly posted something, and it hit me again. And there might be a new regular feature appearing on the Twitter feed. Mr. Grizzly, your Eager Beaver presents an online literacy moment. How to read a Q Ian tweet. Now, Mr. Grizzly, please read the tweet.
Until every Canadian has a home to live in, we should be limiting the number of refugees we let in. If Trudeau's voter supply chain gets clogged up, maybe we will see some real action.
Okay. Now, what is the highlighted part, Mr. Grizzly?
Until every Canadian has a home to live in.
What this tweet is definitely most not about. What is the red underline?
We should be limiting
Continue.
Trudeau's voter supply chain.
What this tweet is about. And what's under blue underline?
Refugees.
Who is being exceptionally singled out today for vilification? Yesterday. Well, this guy gave me an opportunity again. Brian Lilly, what did he say?
I have to say that time and again, at Kevin Vuong MP stands up and shows the benefits of having independent MPs. Here he is doing his job and calling out the Liberal government for failing people in need.
Okay, and there's Kevin Wong. There's a picture here, and you got his tweet. You know, where are the Toronto's 24 Liberal MPs? Why don't they care about the refugees at 129 Peter Street? You know, they need shelter now. Okay. Now, Kevin Wong is one of the MPs a bit controversial in that
Mhm.
it seems that at one point there was a sexual impropriety allegation against him,
Yes.
that he denied it. I think it got resolved or whatnot, but uh, the government said, yeah, you can't be a member of our party. So he's sitting as an independent.
Mhm.
So again, how to read a Brian Lilly tweet. What is the highlighted part of his tweet, Mr. Grizzly?
The benefits of having independent MPs.
How to read it? That's definitely what it is not about.
Hmm.
What's in the blue underline?
Calling out the Liberal government.
What it's really about. This is why he likes Kevin. I mean, Brian Lilly, really? Come on. And the red underline. The people Brian is exploiting by pretending to care about their lot?
People in need.
Ah. They always wrap it up in something virtuous, and then they slide in what their tweet is really about. I might be doing this a little more often because, well, we all know and love Kit Hugh, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Dude, in terms they can comprehend, you just did this to his argument. Field stripping your modern sporting rifle.
Now, because Kit knows what he's talking about there, Kit
Mhm.
Hugh. That's one hell of a compliment. So, thank you, sir. Hope you enjoyed that, kids.
Alrighty.
See ya.
See ya.